In the 90s, K-pop took East Asia by storm, and in subsequent years, Hallyu influenced the rest of the world. Now, our question today is, just how stable is the K-pop market? Our thesis is that globally expanding K-pop is a fragile market because global consumers may not agree with the treatment of idols, because the market is too reliant on exports, and because it's difficult for anything to maintain success throughout many years against tough global competition.
As K-pop expands to the rest of the world, you have to appease the values of global consumer in order to maintain their interest. We all know that if you want to become a well-running K-pop idol, you have to put a lot of effort, spending all of your time and energy to practice dancing, vocal, and learning other languages. But most of the time, K-pop artists don't get as much as they deserve. Comparing to the Western countries, the star performers at the stage are always the one who receive the most profit. Even though every trainees have to go through all of these intensive trainings and pressure before debuting, they have only half of the chance to be chosen for the creation of a new group. Even after debuting, they still don't have job security. Since the music market is very competitive, especially when there are so much more talented people are being discovered by the agencies, they'll have to try even harder. From the start of being a trainee, they are required to sign a contract with their management agencies, a so-called slave contract. It's a long-term contract that often restricting their freedom. In recent years, many idols were involved in the lawsuits against their agencies for getting unfair treatment. They're mostly due to the reasons of being underpaid and a long contract period.
Hi.
Oh, hi. You're Alice, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Jackie from UBC Entertainment.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So, I've got to say, I saw your audition yesterday. I was very impressed. You know, your vocals were perfect, your face is pretty, honestly, you're beautiful, but I gotta say something. I think I have to offer you this 10-year training contract. I think it's time for you to become a K-pop idol.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you so much. So good. Oh my god.
Hey! What do you two think you're doing? Eating pizza during practice? What do you guys even think you're doing? We pay for your education, we pay for your training, and we put a roof above your head. And this is how you repay us. You eat pizza during training, and you play on your phone. You two are worthless about this agency. You're not pretty, you don't have any talent, nothing. You two should practice some more.
Due to the harsh conditions that K-pop artists endure, there are frequent disputes over contracts and payment amounts in K-pop. Every time these disputes or any scandals occur, the international brand of K-pop is weakened. Many international fans will always side with their idols, as they could come from a background where harsh working environments are frowned upon, which hurts K-pop's brand. If K-pop can change the principles to be more in line with what global fans think, we think it will begin to lose power over the global market.
K-pop's transition to a royalty-driven industry renders it extremely reliant on exports. As such, any buildup of K-pop fatigue could be fatal to the industry. In James Turnbull's article, he highlights how even in the heydays of Gangnam Style, Psy still earned more from endorsements compared to any other sources of income. In Korea, to dissuade piracy, music is extremely cheap to buy, with one song being the equivalent of 13 to 20 tracks in the Western world. As such, to secure profit, Korean music industries have shifted towards a new market model. According to Owen Park, the industry is shifting towards a business-to-business model, B2B for short. The method allows music to be accessible for free to consumers. In lieu of direct profits from sales, advertisements are displayed or embedded into music-related videos on YouTube. These ads are paid for by global multinational enterprises, or MNEs for short. Google sells and provides data sharing for a high fee, and MNEs pay royalties for their advertisements in hopes that K-pop fans will buy their products. MNEs and sites such as YouTube have the most to gain, while music agencies and producers are playing second fiddle. Conventional business methods are being replaced by B2B operations. B2B is so profitable with respect to conventional sales that music agencies such as SM Entertainment procure most of their revenue from renting out stars to feature in advertisements and other endorsements. In Figure 3, it can be seen that there's an exponential growth in B2B profits. In Figure 4, we see a growing dependence on B2B sales compared to conventional sales methods. In 2010, 80% of SM's Entertainment's revenue came from B2B sales, an increase of 22% from just 6 years prior. That value is insane and showcases how the industry is becoming more dependent on B2B sales. Linearly extrapolating the data, 96% of SM's 2017 revenue would be based off of B2B sales, while this predicted value is 100% wrong. It showcases how ridiculous the growth rate was during the years 2004 to 2010. Still, sales are increasing yearly, so wouldn't one think that increasing sales equals good? We would argue no. Due to how much the industry is gearing towards relying on B2B market procedures, any foreign decline in interest or fatigue in K-pop would greatly impact the K-pop market. As B2B relies on big international companies paying endorsements, the system will only work as long as K-pop can hold the interest of international consumers, which makes the industry relatively fragile. As seen with 80% of SM's revenue in 2010 stemming from B2B sales, K-pop relies too much on foreign markets to grow the industry. As Owen Park observed, quote-unquote, the entire profit structure of the industry depends on exports and foreign distributors for its survival. Now you may be wondering, just how reliant is K-pop on the foreign market? While it doesn't paint the whole picture, the graphic shows the amount of views by region for K-pop. The graphic depicts that Korea is only worth 15% of total views for K-pop content. While Korea can profit from all parts of the world equally, losing a large percent of foreign interest means that K-pop as a whole industry will lose a lot of value. Relying on exports isn't something new to Korea. As a country with limited natural resources, about 46% of South Korea's GDP was made through exports. In an article by Joelle Lee, he details how Korea took a gigantic hit during the global crisis of 2008 due to its reliance on exports. Jung's article details how the nation's economic recovery was stalled due to poor exports. Putting all your eggs into one basket seems to be a bad long-term strategy, although for a small country such as Korea, it may be one of their only options. Another problem with the stability for the K-pop market is that K-pop is catering to a global audience, and in doing so, it subjects itself to global competition. Samsung, one of Korea's largest companies, has been facing many difficulties with the reduction in global investments. A major proponent is the appearance of multiple lower cost and comparable alternatives to their cell phones, such as Huawei and Oppo. While K-pop is currently thriving in terms of global interest, it still isn't dominant relative to the global market. When K-pop partakes in globalization, it has to protect itself against the effects of global competition, which are a barrier to its continued success. As can be seen in the graphics, there is some huge global competition in place for K-pop. These charts were made using Google Trends. They compare the search amounts for certain topics over the past 5 years. The graphs tell us that at Psy's peak in the last 5 years, he only had 42% of Justin Bieber's max searches in the same time period. Similarly, on a global website, 2NE1 only ever hit 16% of Taylor Swift's YouTube searches. While the data isn't a concrete representation of which is more popular, it certainly paints the picture that K-pop has some fierce competitors on the global scale. K-pop is doing well globally today, but the Huaweis or Oppos of the music industry, or even the existing Western musicians, can stall the K-pop industry's growth, or even worse, create a decline in it.
So, you told me that you used to really like K-pop, but you don't anymore. What happened? Well, last week I used to be so into Girls' Generation, but last night I saw One Direction on TV, and let me tell you what, they sure gave me a direction.
We've covered why we believe K-pop is fragile, but what can it do to become a more rigid market? In regards to longevity, Mesterlin says that nothing lasts forever except through change. So how will how you change to adapt to new and existing problems? Will we see more rapper and solo artists? Will we see more incentives towards bolstering K-pop strength in East Asia even further? Only time will tell, and that's why it's exciting to live in the present.